Buzzword, 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 buzzword. Buzzword, buzzword. A million views.
I like games with bad graphics. I know, right? What a bold statement. I apologize for being the 50th person on your feed with that exact same statement. But there is some truth to it. There is something to be said about the current landscape of gaming at the moment, about how companies push graphics as being the main selling point of the game, rather than the content that it offers. Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Evil Dr. TY. Game design trends come and go. However, there are games out there that transcend time and keep you coming back and leave a lasting impact on you, as opposed to the 5 seconds of fame type of design, where games are popular for a minute before being forgotten when a new one is released a month later. There's no images that just linger in your brain long after you finish. It's all just a mess of the same bland aesthetics that eventually desensitize you halfway through your playthrough. If you've never watched one of those timeline videos of games, franchises evolving through their sequels, you may have noticed something. With each new iteration of the same characters and world, there's something that gets left behind. Colors are less saturated, characters are less exaggerated, thus less distinguishable, and the magic of that game is lost. Ironically, the more realistic games get, the less immersive they are. I'm not saying that good graphics are bad. No, I'm not saying that. That's just a wrong opinion.
He did?
For a while, I've wanted to bring up my favorite horror game in one of my videos. Dark Wood is a top-down tower defense survival horror game taking place in the fictional country known as Poland. A large part of the horror centers around not what you can see, but what you can't. Which, this is the best time to mention this, the sound design, delicious. All of the tension that is built is specifically from the lack of explicit visuals. That's not the case for everything. You get up-close portraits whenever you talk to an NPC, but it's those silent moments of walking through the stretches of grass where you can hear the wind brushing through the trees, twigs snapping beneath your feet, dogs barking in the distance, and the ground pulsating beneath you. Tell me, what games could you consider timeless? Games that, despite being made a decade ago, are still as popular as ever. Team Fortress 2, Half-Life 2, Subnautica, frickin' Mario 64 is still the most sped-run game to ever exist. Notice how all of them do not have even remotely impressive graphics, whether due to the time they came out, or they just designed the visuals with a focus of aesthetic over realism. So why do we keep coming back to them? Familiarity. This could be just a me thing, but lesser polished games are more inviting to play because they tap into those experiences playing games when you were younger. Particularly my generation, which is the demographic of my videos, is so tied to nostalgia and wanting to relive the past. You weren't critical of how accurate Call of Duty was. You weren't critical of how realistic Minecraft was. All you cared about was how fun they were to play. And whenever you play those games with the low poly art style to it, your brain associates those visuals with happier experiences. By the way, I am not a psychologist. I do not have a degree in psychology, so believe me when I say this, I have no clue what I am talking about half the time, most of the time. Sometimes you just gotta spout random stuff until it makes sense, you know? That's what MatPat did, and that's how we got the FNAF lore. That's gonna be it from me though. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I will see you when I feel like it.